Hey guys, and welcome to the video today, and in today's video I'm going to be going over 12 characters that I really want to be added to Multiversus. So you're probably thinking, what is Multiversus? Well, it's a brand new 2D platform fighter made by Player First Games and Warner Bros. It's essentially Warner Bros Smash Bros is the easiest way to put it, and I'm going to be going over 12 characters I really want to see in the game. I feel like the hype train has now essentially left the station, and they're going to be doing this as basically how Nintendo marketed Smash Bros with different character reveals periodically. I don't know if they're going to do it sort of multiple reveals in one go, or if they're just going to do different trailers where they show off one or two different characters, or if they're going to do one character and they do a live stream focusing on that character, sort of like how Nintendo and Sakurai have been doing it with Smash. So anyway, let's start off with the 12 characters, with number 1 being Ed, and Eddie. Ed, and Eddie was one of my favourite Cartoon Network shows growing up. You guys have to remember that Warner Bros. Own Cartoon Network, so along with Hanna-Barbera and the rest of it, so they can show up in the game. I mean, obviously we already have Adventure Time and Steven Universe in the game, but I think Ed, and Eddie would be a really good character moveset. Obviously you'd have probably Eddie being the more lightweight and quicker character. You'd have Double D being the maybe you could work with some gizmos and gadgets, and Ed being sort of the powerhouse character. I'm sort of torn between having all three characters together or having it so that you can switch between each Ed. I'm not really too sure how that would work, but anyway, it's a great moveset. They could have things like an aerial being that they're all standing on each other's shoulders. They could be using jawbreakers for attacks and things like that. So next up is Ben 10. Now, I actually forgot that Ben 10 can be in this game. I saw a Twitter post where someone was asking for Ben 10, and that's how I realised, oh my god, like Ben 10 can be in this game. And personally, I'd love to see the classic Ben 10 because I don't know which one they'd go with. Hopefully it would be cool if they had like alts for all the different Ben 10s throughout the series, because obviously there's obviously you've got Ben 10, then you've got the reboot that's just come out, and then you've got Omniverse, etc. So it would be really nice to see sort of the classic Ben 10, because I feel like that's the best one. As for aliens, I don't know, because the whole point is obviously Ben has loads of different aliens. He starts off with like 9 or 10, and then obviously gets more and more and more progressing through the series. I don't know how they'd handle this, because it would have to be very tamed down. I don't know if it could be, say for example, Ben can switch to a few different aliens, such as maybe Accelerate or Forearms or something like that, and it would really be a cool character. Like you could play as Ben and then you could switch out to Forearms, and then obviously it'd be more a tankier build, something like that. Or they might just end up choosing one of the aliens to have as the character, if that makes sense, so you can't switch, it would just be Forearms. But personally, I'd love to see different aliens make an appearance. Next up, I'd really love to see Samurai Jack. I really love Samurai Jack. I never actually really watched it all that when I was little. I watched it more when I was growing up, and obviously the Adult Swim version of it as well, but Samurai Jack looks awesome, and I think if we could have a futuristic stage as well, I think that would be really cool. There's not really much to say about Samurai Jack. He would just be a sword fighter, but again, he's one of Cartoon Network's most popular all-time characters, so I'd love to see him in the game. Next up is Scorpion or Sub-Zero. Now this is sort of cheating, it's two different characters, but I'll give my reasoning on this in a second. So you guys have to remember that NetherRealm Games obviously make Mortal Kombat, which is owned by Warner Bros. And obviously makes any Mortal Kombat character okay to put in this game. The only thing that I could think that would hold back Mortal Kombat is the fact that obviously the game is, I don't know what the rating is, but it is safe for children and teenagers, so you have to go, obviously Mortal Kombat is a sort of hyper-violence game, so obviously there's loads of blood, gore and guts, so that obviously that would have to be toned down. I feel like Scorpion would be the obvious pick as he is the mascot, but I think Sub-Zero would be a safer pick, as they'd have to work around things like Scorpion's get over here attack, where he sort of like impales you with a spike and drags you over. That would have to be changed in some way to make it sort of kid safe, kid friendly, whereas I think Sub-Zero being more ice attacks, they could get away with that more. Again, I have no idea what they do for a Mortal Kombat stage either, because again, a lot of it is blood, guts and gore, so they'd have to choose an arena that doesn't that is safe to put in the game, if that makes sense. But hey, no, I'd love to see any NetherRealm character, to be honest. Next up, now there's been quite a few leaks for Multiverses. Some of the characters on this list have actually been found in the game files. It doesn't mean that they're coming, it doesn't mean that they're leaked, it just means that they have been at least referenced in the game files. And two such characters are Harry Potter and Ron Weasley. They've at least been referenced somewhere in the game, or at least leaked at some point. And I'd really love to see Harry Potter. If they did like an alt for maybe Hermione and Ron as well, that would be sick. But you could have all the different spells, you could have maybe he flies on his Nimbus, like things like that. Maybe Hedwig makes an appearance, I don't know. But I'd also love to see a Hogwarts stage. I think that would just be brilliant. I'd love to see Harry Potter. It is owned by Warner Bros, so it would be okay. I have heard apparently that Harry Potter was heavily considered, but apparently they've had to essentially not include the IP due to licensing issues. But I feel like if they can get Middle-earth and Game of Thrones characters, because we obviously have Arya Stark, and Gandalf is also confirmed to be in the game as well, so it's one of those things where I feel like if they can get Middle-earth and Game of Thrones, why not Harry Potter? But hopefully the game does well, and hopefully we do see Harry Potter. Next up are the Animaniacs. Like Ed, Edd and Eddy, I don't know if this would be one where you switch between all three of them, Wacko, Dot, and oh god, I forgot the third one. I'll put it on screen now, I can't really remember, but essentially Animaniacs I think would be great. You've got Tom and Jerry, you've got Bugs Bunny, you've got Taz the Tasmanian Devil, so just sort of having that sort of weird, wacky, well animated character where they're like doing things like smashing the hammer, throwing pies. Obviously it would have to be a different moveset from Bugs Bunny and Tom and Jerry, but I feel like that could be easily done as they have a lot to their disposal. But the Animaniacs would be really cool as well. Next up, I have Dick Dastardly and Muttley from Wacky Races. Again, I have no idea how they do the moveset, as obviously in Wacky Races they're mostly in a car, but it would just be nice to see some more Hanna-Barbera representation. Another one would probably be Fred Flintstone, but I feel like Dick Dastardly and Muttley would be a bit better. I feel like they could do sort of more things with the taunts. Again, I have no idea what the moveset would be. I don't know if it would involve their car, but is it just me, or also does Dick Dastardly give you Waluigi vibes? So I have no idea there. But next up we have Neo from the Matrix. Again, it would be really cool to see a Matrix stage in the game. Neo again would have to be toned down like Mortal Kombat characters due to having guns, but he could do the sort of air time, or is it gun time? You know, the sort of the Matrix thing where he bends back and obviously dodges the bullets. That could be incorporated into the moveset somehow. Obviously it'd be martial arts as the moveset, but again the Matrix is owned by Warner Bros, so this would be a fairly safe pick. Next up is Austin Powers. So I was going through, I actually googled all the IPs owned by Warner Bros, and Austin Powers showed up, and I thought, well, that's it now. If we've got Ultra Instinct Shaggy, why can't we have Austin Powers? Like, the moveset would be too brilliant. He could sort of do like judo chops. Again, guns would have to be toned back, but I feel like that could easily be done. I have no idea what they do for an Austin Powers stage. If he got one, I don't know if they do the swinging 60s or London or what. Maybe they could do Dr. Evil's base, but Austin Powers would be just an amazing IP to put in the game. It's almost too good to be true. I mean, you've got characters like the Iron Giant and obviously Middle-earth, Game of Thrones. Why not have Austin Powers? It would be brilliant. So next up is the one and only DC character on this list. Obviously, so far we have Batman, Superman, Harley Quinn. I know that Joker has been sort of thrown around a bit, and I know Green Lantern, the actual Green Lantern, shows up in the brand new cinematic trailer. So why not have Raven, specifically from Teen Titans, but specifically from the original Teen Titans, not Teen Titans Go? Again, I feel like they would go for the Teen Titans Go version, but if you look at characters like Bugs Bunny, they've actually gone for the original version of Bugs Bunny rather than the more modern interpretations of Bugs Bunny. So I feel like they would go with maybe the classic Raven. I don't know if they'd go with like a comic book sort of DC animated series, because if you look at the DC characters that are currently in the game, other than like say Harley Quinn, which is based off of her like Suicide Squad appearances. Batman, Superman and Wonder Woman are sort of, well, Wonder Woman's based off of the Gal Gadot version, but Batman and Superman are heavily inspired and based off of their DC animated series. So I don't know how they do that, but I'd love to see the Raven specifically from the original Teen Titans. Obviously they could do a lot with her dark magic, with flying, maybe turning into a raven, all of her different spells, and that would be great. Next up is another Cartoon Network character, being Powerpuff Girls. Now, I feel weird for having 3 characters on this list that are trios, being Ed, Edd and Eddy, Animaniacs, and then Powerpuff Girls. But again, just a really popular pick. The stage would be really good. They could have, say, like Mojo Jojo attacking, is it Townsville? Is the sort of location from Powerpuff Girls. I haven't watched it since I was very little. But again, I think Powerpuff Girls would be a good one. I don't know if, again, you do it where you have all 3 girls fighting together, or you switch between Blossom, Bubbles and Buttercup. I have no idea how they do it. But yeah, no, the Powerpuff Girls would also be an awesome pick. So last up is a weird one. So I just want to explain myself before I reveal this pick and have everyone go, what the hell is he on about? So essentially leaked for the game, again, spoilers now if you don't want to know, but this character has been at least leaked. I don't know if they've been found in the game files. I've heard different things if they've been found in the game files or not, but I've heard that 11 from Stranger Things has been found in either in the game files or leaked. Being because Stranger Things isn't owned by Warner Bros, that would be a third-party character, which is weird to say in a Warner Bros fighting game, but 11 would be a third-party character. Now, one of the developers on Twitter actually said that they were actually going to at one point call the game WB Brawlers, but they decided not to, specifically for the sole reason that characters outside of Warner Bros can actually appear in this game. That has been confirmed. I don't know if they are, but that is at least on the table, that characters outside of the Warner bracket of IPs can appear. So my last pick is a very British pick. It would be a third party pick, mainly because they have collaborated with Warner Bros before for games and for things like Lego Dimensions, specifically being Doctor Who. And now I've probably lost a lot of people here, but hear me out. The stage could be, say, either a Dalek invasion of London, or it could be the interior of one of the TARDISes. As for the Doctor, they could have skins for every single incarnation, including John Hurt's War Doctor. So again, like I'd imagine, because of when the game was developed, the character would either be based off of Peter Capaldi's Doctor or Jodie Whittaker's Doctor. But again, they could or they could just go for David Tennant or Matt Smith, or obviously cycle between them. They could do a thing where if you die, the Doctor regenerates, and then you change the skin or you change the character. Because obviously the only issue with the Doctor is they'd have to get all the voice actors in, because one thing that Warner Multiversus has done really well so far, I'd say for at least 90% of the characters, they have got their original voice actors. So for example, with Jake the Dog from Adventure Time, they've got John DiMaggio. With Garnet from Steven Universe, they've got Estelle. And obviously they've got Maisie Williams for Arya Stark from Game of Thrones. And they've got Jim Cummings to do, I think he does Bugs Bunny and Tasmanian Devil. But yeah, no, I feel like the Doctor would be a really cool pick. I'm British, so I'm biased towards Doctor Who. I love Doctor Who, and I think it would be a weird pick. I know at some point Rick Sanchez, obviously Rick and Morty, will be in the game at some point. Like, it's been pretty much confirmed that they're in the game. Also, if you look at I think it's one of the trailers, the actual trademark appears, the Rick and Morty trademark. So it'd be weird having Rick and Morty versus Doctor Who in a platform fight. So I think that's just really bizarre. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening to me ramble on for this long about 12 characters I wanted to see in Multiverses. I feel like this is now the new Smash Bros, as Smash Bros has sort of gone away on hiatus until they develop the next game. Obviously, you've got Nick All-Stars as well, but I feel like that game, I feel like Multiverses is a bit more higher quality, plus it's free to play. So obviously they could do some absolute BS with microtransactions and pay lock things, but for me, It's just going to be really cool having all these IPs come together in a platform fighter. I'm just really looking forward to it. I'm really excited. And tell me in the comments, what do you guys think of Multiversus? Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.